You know, we're already pretty early in the year, but I think we might already have a candidate for the worst film of 2026. That being this year's Night Patrol. This film has as subtle political messaging as you would expect an average Ben Shapiro video to have. I'm just going to say right now, I'm going to straight up spoil this whole movie because that's the only interesting thing that there is to talk about is plot spoilers here. The movie essentially follows a couple of different characters, some being from a gang and others being cops that are part of the squad that's called Night Patrol. It's established pretty early on in the movie that these Night Patrol people are bad dudes, and what they are the people of the LAPD in this movie that travel around at night. Now, it's established pretty early on that something's up with these guys as they start killing black people all over, and you can really tell at that point that the subtlety in this movie is, well, it's not really there. There is no such thing as subtlety in this movie. The general plot is watching these two sides that are both doing horrible things do worse and worse things, and you're meant to side with the people that are in the gangs because, well, I guess they're less bad, despite seeing multiple instances of them killing other people in the earlier parts of the movie. The big twist of the movie, even if it's a twist, I think it was talked about in the trailers, is that the cops at night end up being vampires who are killing all these black people in these gangs to essentially get their blood for survival. I think that's how vampires work. I don't know, I've never seen Twilight. We basically have no real central character. We jump around to this main character, and then they die, and then this main character, oh, and then they're kind of out of the picture. Then this main character that we kind of started off the prologue with, and all of it feels like it's not built particularly well. Comparing it to something like last year's Weapons, where we did switch perspectives from different characters in different situations, this one feels like it was haphazardly done. Not that it was an interesting way to unravel the story and show the audience more and more what's happening, but rather as a way to just kind of pad the runtime. That brings up the fact that this movie is way too long for what it is. It could easily have been a 90-minute movie, but they decided to stretch it out to an hour and 45 by mostly just providing more of their political commentary. And I say that with quotations, not to say that it is completely invalid, though I obviously disagree with the notion that all cops are racist and gonna kill black people. But I say that more so because it's done with absolutely no subtlety and no subtext. It just shows you cops killing black people, and you're supposed to be like, ooh, this is such biting satire, especially for a vampire movie. It's like you basically take the aspects of last year's Sinners, with it being a lot of metaphors for the African American culture and vampires being associated with that, and something like Get Out, where it also had a lot of social commentary like that, except you remove any of the good filmmaking, any of the memorable characters, any of the good cinematography, any of the great subtlety, and really any sauce that either of those movies had, which both of those movies are great. The ending of this also gets really, really stupid. It ends with basically this big midnight showdown with the gang people versus the vampires, and then eventually it's like, oh, here, take this. Our tribe is the chosen one since our African tribe was doing this before, and here is my ring. Now become Green Lantern and fight the vampires. Probably the worst thing about this movie is that it thinks that it is poetic, that it has something to say, but really it's nothing more than slop. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Night Patrol. Feel free to yell at me in the comments if I'm wrong about this, and I'll see you in the next one.